Great.
Okay, hi everyone. This is Jerry Nunn, and this is a None-on-One interview with Tom. It's the Tom and Jerry show today.
Yes, that's great.
So I'm excited to talk about your current project, but just go over your identity and pronouns to start off.
I go by he and him.
Okay, and then how do you identify gay, queer, straight?
Gay and queer. I mean, gay and queer. How about that?
Okay, you can be both.
I can be both.
We're all more than one thing, anyways.
Exactly. With a side of like circus clown.
And then you went to Northwestern, right?
I
That's
did, yeah.
okay. Tell me a little bit about
Many years
your
ago.
history and how you got into the biz, real quick.
Yeah, I went to film school at Northwestern back in a long time ago. And then right out of college, I luckily landed a job in the casting department of Road to Perdition. That was my first kind of industry job. And then worked my way up to do a bunch of like on location casting. And then in between kind of these big, huge movies, I started doing my own films. And partnered obviously with my partner Corey, who at the time when I met him was an actor in Chicago, and then he started writing, and then we started making movies together. So this is our what fifth feature, I guess. Sixth feature, I guess, if you define some as, you know. So yeah, and then we moved to New York probably in 2002-ish, and then have been based in New York ever since.
Okay, perfect. And this is your romantic partner too, not a.
It
Uh,
is,
okay,
yeah.
what's his full name, just so I get that?
Corey Krickeberg.
Okay, got it. All right. And are like musicals? Was that a thing that you always loved doing? Is that, what?
Yeah, I mean he and I both kind of had a musical, I mean he more than me, but had a musical theater background. And then I also did some musicals throughout, high school and college. And then we both are just really drawn to kind of music storytelling. So that's really been our focus, even in a project that we did that was more like a documentary narrative called Getting Go. I mean, music was such a huge part of that film. And so even when it's not like singing musicals, we love telling stories with music.
Do you have a favorite musical?
Do I have a favorite musical? I mean, I would have to say, Moulin Rouge obviously was a huge influence on me. I don't know if it's my favorite, but that would probably be where I would land at the moment.
That's a really good one. Well, that brings us
Yeah.
to glitter. So tell me about the concept of glitter and doom. Like, what do the names represent? I definitely want to get that.
Glitter and Doom, it's actually, a lot of people's there is obviously a Tom Waits album that's called Glitter and Doom, but it actually was the title came from this amazing art exhibit that we saw that was called Glitter and Doom that was like German portraiture, which was kind of amazing. And Corey and I really relate to those characters. I mean, both of us, I'm definitely more glitter and he's a little more doom. So there was that. But that, the project came from us we did a movie called Hello Again back in like 2018 or 2017 or something. And after that, we wanted to do another musical and we started looking at, kind of existing off-Broadway, Broadway project or properties. And then one of our friends actually said, your origin story when you guys met in Chicago is a really interesting story. Maybe that could be a launch pad for kind of a small, intimate movie. Um, so we talked about it, and then Corey went off and wrote it, which I didn't really know about. And he surprised me on our 20th anniversary with the script of Glitter and Doom, based on us meeting in Chicago in 1998. And at that time, there wasn't music. We knew it was going to be a musical, but there were kind of placeholders for all the different songs and how they would work. And we started brainstorming, whether it was going to be new music or if it was going to be kind of a jukebox with a lot of music that was important to us at the time, you know, uh, with various musicians. And then we kept landing on Indigo Girls because they were such an important part and the soundtrack of our relationship. And so we reached out and, amazingly, and they gave us the rights to their catalog, which then started that journey.
Yeah, how was that, convincing them to, join, be part of this and
Yeah. It was strangely really easy from you get a lot of no's in this business. Obviously, it's all no's, 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 no's.
Hmm.
And I reached out and literally like 2 days later, we had the permission. Um, which is crazy. I mean, and you don't really believe it. And then I kept kind of going, we kept kind of taking baby steps. And I was like, what songs do we have? And they were like, oh no, you can come back to us and tell us what songs you think would work. And yeah, it really was a dream, and then and their management team has been really supportive. They've been really supportive and trusting. So that is, truly it's remarkable and a dream to have that kind of trust
Hmm.
from artists.
Well, I think it says a lot about them. I've
Yeah,
interviewed both of them. They're so nice and
so nice.
kind of creating, queer spaces in their concerts really is something that now we look back on and go, wow, they
Yeah,
really did something that a lot of people weren't doing. And
for sure. I mean, I've said this before, but like, the fact that they were out and proud and they've always been, you know what I mean? That obviously really influenced my own coming out and it's just so amazing that they've been out forever, and like unapologetically like queer and it's just amazing.
hmm um, when did you see them in concert? Had you seen them a long time
I
ago?
saw them in 19 I think my first concert was like 1993 or 4 at in Chicago at oh my gosh, what's that big like it's that big convention hall on the water, like McCormick Place. I saw them at McCormick Place.
Oh,
And
wow.
then after that, I saw them, like all over the place in Chicago.
Hmm.
Um,
Wow. I saw them even earlier. I saw them open for REM and like
wow,
night.
that's crazy. They were talking about that when we saw them in New York, and I was like, that is my dream. Like REM is another, you know, I, Michael Stipe was like my, hero.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah.
that concert. Where did you see them? Where in Chicago?
Tennessee. I grew up in Tennessee.
Oh, wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. So, yeah, have you seen like the mixtape movie or It's Only Life After All? Did you see those
I
movies?
haven't seen the documentary yet. No,
Oh, okay.
no. I
But
will see it.
anything at COVID, that was a huge challenge, right?
Yeah, I mean, we started the project during COVID,
Mhm.
which was actually kind of a blessing for the casting process because we were able to, everything was virtual clearly, so we were able to do an entire um, worldwide search for Glitter and Doom. So we got, over 1,000 submissions from all over the world for those two roles, and then we were pairing people up, in Zoom, and trying to figure out who would be our leads. And then when we started shooting the movie, it was kind of the tail things had started opening up. We shot the movie in Mexico City, so that was a little later. So there was still lots of protocols. I mean, we didn't even meet any of our designers in person. It was all through Zoom until like the first week of shooting, which is kind of crazy. But
Mhm. Yeah,
now it all feels like a dream. Like I can't even remember like what what was that?
and you called them the Doctor in the Dream, right? And
Yeah,
so that's kind of interesting. So I actually thought it was filmed at the Green Mill, that one, in Chicago, because it looked like that with Leah De La Ria,
yeah.
so.
Yeah, what's funny is that yeah, we use that. We have a obviously an homage to Berlin because that's where Corey and I met, and we fabricated the Berlin sign for outside of the club, which now hangs in our kitchen, which is amazing. And then for the fountain, yeah, we sent pictures of the Green Mill to our production designer, and they created this massive marquee, which now hangs in the production office in Mexico City of our producing partners.
All right. Yeah, I'm glad I spotted that. Now I feel like
Yeah,
validated. Yeah, I like the costuming too. I thought Alex's like colorful shirt, like I wanted that from the fireworks
yeah,
scene.
yeah.
Like so,
Yeah, we worked with a costume designer, Adela. She the whole movie we really wanted kind of a fabulistic feel and kind of an everywhere, anywhere, anytime feel. And so we, talking to all the designers, including Adela, we let them kind of go crazy. And so Adela, kind of took every character and said, okay, let's pick time a different time period for every character. And then she kind of used that as inspiration to go crazy on the costumes. One of my favorites is obviously the circus, like that, the vintage circus. We didn't have any idea. I kept asking her leading up to that shoot, like, how's it going? Like, what are things looking like? And she was like, it's okay, like kind of flustered. And then that day I show up and I was like, I mean, she just knocked it out of the park. I mean, it's insane, those costumes.
Yeah, I think it looks you did so many different locations. Was there
Yeah.
one that was more challenging or one that you know?
The woods, so the camping scenes are all about 20 minutes outside of the city center of Mexico City. Everything was shot in Mexico City. And that location, you drive 20 or 30 minutes and then you're suddenly up in these like crazy mountains. And we had like insane weather. We put it on our Instagram, but there's a moment where it started hailing, and within like 30 minutes, there was this much hail on the ground. It was like crazy epic
Mhm.
hailstorm. So that was, and then it was freezing, and then it'd be raining, and then it'd be sunny. It was a very insane weather in that location.
Well, things looked really great. I mean,
Thank you.
cinematography, wonderful. So
Yeah, thanks.
let's say that. What would you want to tell people about the film to get them, to watch it?
I we really wanted to make a joyous, unapologetically queer movie. There's so much negative in the world all around. I mean, especially leading into this year and the election and all that stuff. Like, we wanted to make a film that is joyous. And, there's, yeah, I mean, I think that is the main thing. Like, go and have fun and listen to great music and feel queer joy.
hmm
Um, I
Yeah,
hope people will feel that.
yeah.
you know
That
and and it's very annoying when you see some critics or people shoot down queer joy. Like, there's not a lot of movies that celebrate queer love and queer joy, and uh you know it's
I agree.
some people don't like joy, I guess.
Well, I think that, people project and they,
Yeah,
it says more about them sometimes.
yeah, yeah.
But, I mean, nobody wants that. We want
Right.
to be happy. Like we
I
want,
want to be happy.
right. We
Yeah,
lead with rainbows and love, and that's the only
right.
way we're going to be able to, combat all the negativity about our community.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Our dog who's in the movie right now is whining at me right here.
Oh,
She has a cute cameo in the movie, but
yeah.
yeah.
What's your dog's name?
Pippin.
Pippet.
Not the basketball player, the musical.
Musical. Well, I got the music. Funny, I didn't go sports. I went more musical.
We get that a lot though. They're like, "Oh, like Scotty?" And I was like, "No, like the Broadway musical."
Yeah, the dog's not a bad tipper. Okay,
No.
like, um, I want to say I was at the red carpet and interviewed Jenna for Hello Again, and
Oh, wow, that's great.
yeah,
Awesome.
so I was there, and I was like, it was really interesting the whole Glee thing too. I just
Yeah.
think it's how it's evolved, and she was
Yeah.
really great. I really
She's
like.
great. Now she's a dear friend of ours, and like, oh, I'm very proud of that movie. I mean, that movie is obviously very uh weird narratively, and like, but now looking back on that one, like, I'm so proud of what we pulled off with that project. I mean, yeah, I love it.
Yeah, you must take things from, you learn, and then you bring
Yeah.
it to the next thing, and
Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, that one we shot, it was almost 90% sung through. So like, and it was all live vocals. We also did, live vocals in Glitter and Doom. Um, so clearly, that knowledge that every movie we kind of have figured out how to do that live vocal thing better and better.
Very good. What are you working on next?
We have a couple projects that we are pushing up the hill. I mean, it's a really challenging time right now for independent film, clearly. We actually do have the rights to a big Broadway musical that was on Broadway in early 2000s. 1920s vaudeville is the clue. So we're trying to figure out if we can make that kind of a limited series or a movie, which would be very exciting. And then, Corey has a couple other scripts that yeah, we'll see. We're shopping some things around. We're trying to figure out what's next.
Where did Speak Production originate? Where did that name come from?
It's an REM thing, which back in the day, he always wrote "speak" on his hand, and I was obsessed with it. And I kind of loved the idea. I basically started that company back in '98, and I love the idea of what speak means. Like, speak your mind, speak out, speak. Like, don't hold it in. And that kind of became my yeah, my saying. So But it started with my obsession of Michael Stipe, I think.
Excellent. And Kate Pearson has a pop-up.
Pearson.
Yeah, how was
Yeah.
that?
Amazing. So, when we did those cameos, those were actually shot obviously later after production, and we really wanted to kind of find people that were a, kind of the wide spectrum of the LGBTQ community, and also different. We have Anne Burrell from the Food Network, and Kate Pearson has also been a I've admired her for decades. And we actually, one of the coolest parts of this movie is when we were shooting her cameo, we were going to do it in New York. And then she was invited us up to her kind of recording studio outside of Woodstock. And it's amazing.
Full as that. Oh my God.
Pretty magical moment.
Excellent. And so it's going to be on video on demand,
Yep.
April 9th. Where do you recommend them finding stuff?
Yeah, it's going to be on I think every platform, VOD on demand platform. So you can search out your favorite and find it there.
Excellent. When are you coming back to Chicago?
I still have family there, so I come back a couple times a year. I think, right now we're in LA. We're those people that escape the cold.
Mhm.
But then we drive back cross country. So in the next month or so, we'll do a pit stop in Chicago, which would be great.
Excellent. Well, keep in touch. I would love to hang
Well,
out.
yeah.
We'll go to Sidetrack and watch some more
I know,
music.
right?
So
I think I told you, but the music box is where Corey and I had our first date. So it's a full circle moment to have the movie playing at the music box and music box films. It's pretty special.
excellent. Well, congrats on all your success.
Thank you.
And I look forward to seeing what you do next. And
Awesome.
appreciate you. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Tom. Have a good
All
day.
right. You
Okay.
too. Bye.
Thanks.